Hi there. In this week's video, I wanted to share with you a really interesting conversation I had with an ex-workmate of mine this week and 3 lessons I took away that can really help you find a career that you love. Before I share with you that conversation, I just wanted to say that this isn't the only jumper that I have. If you've seen my previous videos, you probably have seen me in this jumper a few times, and today my wife was saying to me, hey, aren't you doing your video again? And you're in that same jumper. People are going to think that those are the only clothes that you have. I can tell you that's not true. I do have other clothes, thankfully, and it just so happens it's getting colder in Melbourne, and it's just easier to wear this jumper, and I'll try to wear something different next week. Okay. So this conversation I had this week with Sam. So Sam and I used to work together a few years ago at PwC. She left, moved on to another organization, and she recently left that organization about 3 months ago, I think. And the reason why she left was because she couldn't quite see eye to eye with leadership, and that dynamic became a little bit toxic. She was providing them feedback which she was receiving from the rest of the organization in terms of a lack of direction on strategy, some issues with behaviors from leadership, and they did not think that they needed to act on it. Therefore, it just became a little bit difficult to work in that environment. So she decided to take the bull by its horns, and she left. So she went away for a couple of weeks to decompress. And when she came back, she was thinking to herself, so what do I do with my career? And she had a few job opportunities come in, but she also had a conversation with a mate of hers who said, Sam, why don't you think about working for yourself? You've been working in consulting for about 15 years, have a good name for yourself in the market, some strong relationships. Why not do your own thing? And so at that same time, that conversation sparked memories of an idea she had around offering coaching services to small to medium-sized organizations who were making people redundant. So typically in Melbourne or in Australia, that market is more aimed at the larger organizations who have the budgets, and she thought that small to medium-sized organizations have an appetite, but they don't have quite the same budget as a large organization. So if you price yourself a bit differently, then there's a huge opportunity there. So after coming up with this idea, which was sparked by that conversation, she tested it with her network really quickly. So she put the word out there and she said, hey, I'm thinking about starting this business. What do you guys think? Through that, she got put in touch with a construction company that was making a team redundant, and they wanted a bit of advice. So she went out and spoke to them a few times, and through that conversation, she was able to sell her first piece of coaching work, which was fantastic in terms of generating revenue, but also validating her business idea. And so I thought, there were so many fantastic things to take out from this story that I wanted to share with you. And the 3 lessons I think that are really important, which can help you hopefully find a career that you love, are firstly, Sam didn't overthink things. She wasn't seeing eye to eye with leadership in the old organization, and she left. She didn't quite try to land another job before she moved on. Obviously, she had tried to address things with them, but very quickly she assessed and felt that it's best for her to move on, and she did. So she didn't overthink things. Secondly, linked to that is she was very action oriented. So after the conversation with her mate who sparked some thinking around starting her own thing, which then a flashback to some ideas she had around the opportunity in the small to medium-sized space, tested it with her network, which that then led to a conversation with a construction company and eventually sale of a piece of work. So she's very action-oriented in terms of, had the idea, put the word out there, spoke to the company, sold the work, all in a matter of months. She could have spent a lot of time researching and analyzing, which has its merits and is important, but at a certain point you do need to take action, and Sam definitely did that. Thirdly, she leaned on her existing network. So it's really important in terms of, we all have friends and family and people that we've worked with, They have their own networks, and we don't know what's going on in other people's space or areas until we put the word out there. And in Sam's case, obviously, it had a really fantastic outcome. And the point is, you don't know how people out there can help you. All you have to do is ask. So those 3 lessons, once again, are don't overthink things. Secondly, take action. And thirdly, lean on your existing network. I hope they help you start to find a career that you love, or if you're already on that path, then accelerate the process. Take care. Bye for now.